Namaste and welcome to my course on DasMahaVidyas, the Tantric goddesses, the 10 great cosmic powers. And today is the seventh episode. So we're talking about Dhumavati. Just for reference, I will bring out the book again. This is the book, the 10 great cosmic powers, for everyone to have a reference. Okay, so are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
So her name is Dhumavati.
Oh, yes.
She's the seventh goddess in the list of DasMahaVidyas. Also, a very stark looking goddess. So I'll first show you what the AI brought up. Uh, this is what the AI,
Yeah.
where it was. The description I gave was that she is old, she is fragile. It's actually the pot is empty. She's not supposed to have anything in it.
Okay.
She has a skull, and the ravens are on her cart, but the cart is not moving.
Hmm.
Unmoving cart. Okay, so this is the traditional representation. Ravens are associated with death or ancestors, they are representation of the spirit world. The unmoving cart is the stuckness of life. Like in your sadhana, when you're stuck, when you're just not getting anywhere, that's what Dhumavati is all about. She has empty pot like this thing. They basically, this is used in the villages to remove the husk from the rice, but she has nothing, no grains in it, and she's still blessing with the other hand, if you see. So she's sitting on a golden chariot but unmoved. So this is Dhumavati. To my experience, she is the goddess of the dark night of the soul. When your life goes through this entire period where nothing moves and you're just going through all sorts of troubles, whether it's with spirits, whether it's with food, whether not able to get anywhere, and she's also old and she's a widow. She doesn't have a consort. All others have a consort, but this one doesn't. And we'll get into the lesson now to know why she doesn't have the consort also. Hmm? Okay. Dhumavati. In the beginning, darkness was hidden by darkness. All this was a notion of inconscience. Okay. This is a very important line from Vedas because it says there is darkness hidden by darkness and an inconscient world where there is no conscient beings or material. Okay.
Yeah.
In the beginning, all this was non being. It was thence that being was born. Only the non being was this in the beginning. That was the being that became. I love how they've organized it because uh, it's so hard to articulate something that doesn't exist, but it still accurately captures the whole idea that in the beginning there was non being. Okay. After that, being was born. If non-being is the only beginning, then what would happen? That was the being that became. So whatever was born from there became later. Okay. So I'll explain this further. The non-being concept will get deeper as we go. This primal state before creation is also the ultimate state after the creation is withdrawn. So if you go on a beach, okay, and you create a sandcastle, and then you get a call and there is no reception in your phone at that moment, what happens? You go away from the beach where the reception is, but by the time you're back, your castle is gone, right? You
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah.
So this is the primal state of creation,
Hmm.
the beach. Then something got created and it got withdrawn, but the beach remains, right? Whether you are there or not, whether it's day or night, whether it is today or 400 years later. The primal state of next creation is also this, and primal state of the creation before is also this. This state is called Dhumavati, the latent, potent space before creation. Okay.
Yeah.
As she represents the first and foremost state before creation, as she is the one in the very beginning, interior of the age of gods, they call her Devanam Purve Yuge. So the one who came before the gods, she is acclaimed as the Jeshtha. Jeshtha means the eldest. Okay. So as also she's the ultimate darkness of dissolution. She's known as Dhumavarahi, the smoky swallower of universes. And this Jeshta part you must remember because she's the eldest of all of these goddesses. While Tripura Sundari is the head of all of them, and the others like Bhuvaneshwari and Kali are ministers, this one is the eldest in all of 10 of them. Now, what is Asat, non being? Is it Shunya, the void, like Nihil, like how from where nihilism comes? Is it Nirvana, from the whole idea of enlightenment in Buddhism? Okay. Or is it the extinction of existence? So, do you mean that the sandcastle went away, so the beach doesn't exist? Can we say that? We can't, right? It's not the extinction of existence itself, it's just the extinction of creation. कि पहले धरती बनी और फिर नहीं बनी. Okay. So how can a being come from non-being? So we'll now understand little bit, not too much, but little bit explanation of how conscience and inconscience work, manifestation happens. Now, the non-existence of a tree in the seed is the instance in point,
Mm.
right? The tree is sort of existing, but it's also non-existence. The horns of a hare. The hare doesn't have horns, right? The son of a
Yeah.
barren woman. Does that exist? Or is there a flower in the sky? Gagana Kusuma? No. These are classic examples. These can never exist. But what is not possible in a measure of time or plane of existence may become possible in some other plane and dimension. So there can be a flower in the sky for some other existences. Who knows? So we're not denying the possibility of the other dimension at all. Yeah. She's the in between of the manifestations also. So the tree is non-existent in the seed. It appears to be like that in the seed form, but the potentiality of a tree, the seed holds inside itself. तो existence नहीं है, but potential तो है. Your next version may not be present right now in you, but you have the potential to grow. That is what she's representing. That is Dhumavati. So when we go through the dark night of the soul, we feel everything is doomed. It's the end of the tunnel. But it is doesn't the existence of light or joy or life is not there, but the potential of all of that is there, and that is the sadhaka, or that is the sadhana, and that is the entire spiritual journey of a being. Yeah, that's what she represents. Now, the non being is a non being only when we are speaking in terms of time. After a time, the tree emerges from the seed. The non being is really the being in its potential form. The Supreme Being has a state of rest, free from all cosmic existence. Now, let's go back to the beach example. Now, the beach is there, but there is land below it, and there are so many layers below it that are holding it. And those are infinite. Then there's beach, then there is forest, then there is ocean, then there is whatever. That's the upper layer. But what is at the very bottom is the supreme being, which is at at a state of rest. उसमें कोई हलचल नहीं हो रही है ना? Now this state, for wanting a better term, we call non-being. Okay. So is the non-being concept clear?
Yeah.
Because that is all Dhumavati. There is on the outside she looks like all of that. but inside she is the bab of all of this. So when the Supreme binds himself, limits himself, there is creation, the being. When he is absolutely free, is as himself, there is the non-being. That is why scriptures say that being was born out of non-being. This is possible only when non-being hold in its womb the being to be born. Correct? Must have gone through a
Yeah.
process of birth. Dhumavati is the primal darkness hidden by darkness, but she is not absolutely dark. She's a smoky hue. Like I think you see that's being represented in the AI image very well.
Yeah.
She feels like she's made of smoke. Now, what is the smoke? It's impregnated with the embryo of light. The smoke carrying hidden in its particles in the heat of flame. So the jyoti we see, the light, the flame we see, the light that's coming into it, it's already present, right? It's there. It's like an embryo. It's like a womb. Thus, being and non being, Sat and Asat, are different states of reality which is constantly asserted by affirmations as well as negations. Neti, Neti. So, what is Neti Neti from a Buddhist point of view or a general point of view that you may have seen? Neti Neti is I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Now, if I keep doing this, that what is by self inquiry, I keep seeing who has this thought, whose thought is being risen right now, who's experiencing the sensation. If I keep doing this, it will appear to me that the non being is the only unchanging part, right? Which Bhagavan also refers to as real, or Advaitic Vedanta says it is the real. Then they say, what is unreal? This phone is unreal to them, technically. Why? Because it will change. Because it will change its form. If I break it, it's going to be different. So, this transactional reality and also the state of dreams, right? When we dream, that experience is real for us. But when we wake up, you're like, oh shit, I'm not in the forest. I'm not running. I'm not a beggar, or I'm not whatever I was in the dream, scared, whatever. But the feelings you get are real, right? You get scared. You might actually have sweat all over. That is the apparent reality. This is the transactional reality. But what happens with neti neti or affirmation? What is non-being? That is the ultimate reality. These are the three realities. And this I was quoting from Upanishads, just for reference if
Yeah.
anybody wants to dive. Anyway, so coming back. The Vedic imagery talks about two oceans and one superconscient high above and other superconscious subconscient down below. It has two oceans, one down, one up. Okay? In between, banked by two oceans, is the conscious life of living beings. So जो स्वर्ग नर्क और धरती की बात करते हैं, ये वो कॉन्सेप्ट है, heaven, hell and earth. In the Tantra, Dhumavati is the dark night, the great night, the terrible night of delusion. Right? So now all of spirituality, if you go to see, is to understand the misunderstanding of the being. Right? The misunderstanding is I am something else. And understanding is I am the self. So she is the goddess of that dark night when that delusion, that bubble breaks, bursts. Hmm? When being comes out of non being, when creation starts, let us not imagine that creation is full of being and there is no non being in it. When God created the world, He also entered into it, right? He's the material as well as the instrument. So He created a mud pot, but He's also the mud on the sides of the road. He's also mud in the forest, which is creating all this. So He's also the creator while being the instrument as well. There's a beautiful story on this in the Upanishads. It says that there was a man who was very, very devoted disciple of a very, very famous guru in those times. And uh, he was going on the road, and someone came and said, "There is a wild elephant coming. You must run right now."
Mhm.
And then he goes in his thoughts and he says, "Yeah, but my guru taught me today that there is divine in every being. So it's the divine meeting the divine. Why should I run? Then another man comes and he also does the same thing. It's like, there's a wild elephant coming, you shouldn't go. And he's like, no, there's divine meeting divine. It will never harm me. Then at last, the elephant comes and breaks all his bones. And then when he's ailing, the guru comes to meet him. And the guru is like, why would you do such a thing? Why didn't you run? He said, because I felt there is divine in the elephant and there's divine in me, and I should just meet the divine. And I will hurt myself. So the teacher says, didn't you see the divine speaking from the two men who came to tell you to save yourself? You have to see the level of consciousness with which you're dealing with. So here you need to use your viveka, which is the power of discrimination. That what am I dealing with? And then act, not just act out of highest teachings. And that's why Dhumavati, I feel, is a very important part of our lives, which humbles us down. It humbles a lot of people who think they have arrived. So she brings the ignorance right in front of you, and she'll be like, okay, eat the shit now. And yeah, so that could be also your journey with Dhumavati. With me, I had a very hard time with her, extremely hard. But I knew that she is the latent potential, and no wonder I'm teaching at this point. So all of us go through this. So don't go high up in your teachings, is what she reminds us of. So anyway, coming back. Now, why is the ignorance caused? We saw that right before, that God created the world and was so focused on creating the world that forgot some part of it, right? And that gave birth to ignorance, falsehood, evil, sin, suffering, and all other roots of ignorance. Therefore, the Veda, when it describes non existence as night, makes it clear that it is a symbol of our obscure consciousness, fumbling and stumbling and so full of evil and sin and suffering. This is what your non existence looks like, the night of the soul. Now, to bring home this fact, there's more description on this. So, she is also the power of perversion, the force of distortion. She is depicted as this ugly, admirable, pale in face, long in limbs, sparse in teeth, breasts are sagging, uncouth, fickle or bad with dirty clothes, and her hair is all over. And she's sitting on a cart with a raven. She's a widow. She has a harsh look in her eyes and has a winnow in her hand. The other hand she throws up in the act of granting a boon. That's her description according to the tantrics. It is the general principle, right, in Tantra that the Shakti implies the Sakta. They always have consorts. So Mahakali has Mahakal, Bhairavi has Tara has Akshobhya, Bhairavi has Bhairava. In the cult as of Tripura Sundari, this is something to be really noted. The Sakti and the Sakta are so inseparable that they exist as one in Tripura Sundari, in Lalita Tripura Sundari. Okay. But in this one, in Dhumavati, she's a widow. So the inconscience or non force or the non being lies involved, right? She's coiled up. It's the absence of the force. And hence, she represents the principle of non existence. Now, how is she different from Kali and Bhairavi? Right? Bhairavi represents the energy, the heat of the tapas, and is ready to release an action. Dhumavati represents inconscience and inactivity, complete inactivity. Why is Kali is the force of transformation in relation to time? She is the evolving principle of the creation of time and space. Dhumavati is the non-being before creation. She holds the potentiality. So first comes Dhumavati, then comes Bhuvaneshwari, and then comes no first then comes Bhairavi, then comes Bhuvaneshwari, and then comes Kali. You see this range of action, how How it
Yeah.
is?
Mhm.
Yeah. So therefore, what would happen if you pray to her? Yeah. You would realize the non-being, the non-existence, which is basis of mayavada, basically the maya. Yeah. You will actually realize also the distinction between maya and avidya. So you are ignorant right now, for example, and you end up uh, getting into a scheme, say to make more money. Now, Maya is that scene, like someone who comes and convinces you. That's Maya. What is avidya? To actually invest in it and not use your discrimination power. So, this is the distinction that she brings out also. So, with her grace, first you will be able to see Maya, then you will be able to see your own ignorance, and then go beyond it. That's the process. Now, um, Maya in many forms is like also gets into this void, right? Like once you see everything is maya, then there is just like the void, and that is also part of the process though. It's not the final end. That's what she is all about. So tantra does not believe in the negation of the world by calling it an illusion. Neither does it advocate an escape from the world by plunging into a void. So the void is more, I mean, whatever I have studied relates to the Buddhist ideas or the Advaita Vedanta ideas. But in terms of Tantra, it is not the last thing. And even there, it's not the last thing. Actually, the emptiness is just part of the process. It prescribes the worship of Dhumavati, the mother of inconscience. That's why Tantra is like, pray to her, she'll do the right thing. Okay. Her mantra is Dhum. uh, I had a very funny joke in my mind when I read it first time. I was like, her chariot can't even move, and her seed sound is dhoom. So how will she do dhoom, Machal?
Yeah.
But,
I was thinking
um,
the same.
see, I think it's going to be relatable. So, poor thing, her goddess, her mantra is dhoom. One is asked to basically choose a lonely spot or devoid of any human habitation and still one's mind and senses to pray to her. The purpose of her sadhana is to realize the existence, bliss, ananda, lying dormant in suffering and pain. Now, the Upanishads bring it very well together. They say, he who knows that both in one, the knowledge and the ignorance, by the ignorance crosses beyond death, and by knowledge enjoys immortality. How beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And he who knows that the both in one, the birth and the dissolution of birth, by the dissolution crosses beyond death, and birth enjoys immortality again.
Mhm.
So the dissolution and the death, both. The power of Dhumavati is reflected in existence, in sleep, inertness, inactivity. Worshipper may experience lethargy, which with her worship will turn into a trance. Sleep will turn into samadhi, and lassitude, a state of calm, into repose. In fact, when the great pralaya, like the doomsday happens, she's the one to where we'll restore to after the creation is gone, right? So you end up praying to her. That's a better thing to do. It's the best thing to do. Now, the common experience of her sadhana, what people generally express is that there are altering states of darkness and depression and light and cheer. So you may have a lot of darkness, but you also have a light and cheer. At the times periods when prolonged, when there is no progress in sadhana, one feels as though one has come to a dead end, and they feel dejected and depressed. These are the periods that turn into gestation periods by the grace of Dhumavati. Whatever is achieved in the course of sadhana is consolidated during this period. I also see my period of Dhumavati as when it was happening, I used all the spiritual tools in my life. I used everything in my capacity to come out of the state, right? The depressed state. And what I realized at some point is that all my tools stopped working. Like anything that would make me feel good, even a chocolate cheesecake, everything stopped working. Everything that brought me up stopped. And I kind of lived in that for some time, maybe a month. And after that month, suddenly a light and cheer came. Like one fine day, it just burst like a bubble in the air. That the smoke just went away. And I have a feeling that that is when Dhumavati blesses you. She literally, what they're saying, it turns gestation period. It's the gestation period between the two versions of you. It's
Yeah.
the stillness before the sounds. And that space is so precious. It's so important. It's like probably one of the most important periods of my life so far. So a lot of people might want to run away and show tantra or spirituality is all light and cheer, but we need to see that all the darkness, that divine delight is that it's
Yeah.
inside.
Without darkness, you don't understand the light, or light doesn't get a meaning without the darkness, and the other way around. Yeah, that's beautiful how in DasMahaVidya these things are put together
Yeah,
and given
incorporate.
importance. Yeah.
Yeah. And they also have solutions. They're not only doing that, they actually have solutions to do this sadhana, do this mantra, go to this temple. For every smallest period, smallest phase of your spiritual journey. So, you have any questions?
No, I had a question about what
Yeah.
does uh, the non-moving chariot means, but you already mentioned it last thing, but you were explaining.
Okay. So, we're good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you have a sharing, please send me an email. My email ID is mentioned. And I hope the goddess blesses you with all the love, grace, and joy.